Nathan Fletcher, the county supervisor, he's a young guy. He's 46 years old. Gracia Figueroa is working for the county of San Diego. She was until she got fired. That's why we're here in this lawsuit. All right. And as she was working for the county of San Diego, she worked, to be specific, for the San Diego Metropolitan Transit System. So she's a 34-year-old woman. She was born in Peru and moved to Southern California with her family as a teenager. And she is seeking millions and millions and millions, all right? And he does admit that he had an affair with her. Nathan Fletcher is married. Coincidentally, he's married to an employee of the government. Wow. What are the odds of that, right? Like this guy, what do they say? You don't go to the bathroom where you eat? This dude does, right? So anyway, so he is married, and he does admit that he had an affair with Miss Figueroa and that it was a consensual affair. And she's saying it was not a consensual affair. Then she worked for like the public relations in the the MTS. So her level would be here, his level is way up top, right? She says that he used to describe her as a natural Peruvian beauty. She says that this whole thing started when he began to stalk her online, is that he started checking out her Instagram account. So he started liking and commenting. But what she says is he does not end up following her. So to her, she's painting it as a more kind of, creepy situation where he kind of like goes on her personal account and like comments and likes, but he's not following her. So he's intentionally kind of looking her up. And I don't know. What do you guys think? If she makes her account public, she would take a beach picture or a bikini picture, and sure enough, he would like it, and his comments are awesome. They're like the hands clapping, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Or hearts, like he'll post hearts and stuff under it. The fire emoji. There was an event, November 2021, where, the county supervisor was there, and it was an MTS type of event that the MTS folks were at. And then he gave while he was there, he then went up and talked to her, and he asked things like, how have you been? What are you, how are you? And after the press conference, he had seen her there because she's a public relations manager. And then after the press conference, he went up to her and according to her, gave her a non-consensual hug. And he just out of nowhere, and then he started talking to her about her Instagram account, things like that. Later that day, he sends her a direct message on Instagram saying, and I quote, "Nice to see you!" exclamation point. And then she said, "Nice to see you too. Have a great day." And then he puts a heart on it. Okay. So he's, flirting. Would you say that's flirting? Are we getting to the flirting realm? Right? Like when I see Carlos, he doesn't send that to me later. He direct messages her. In a previous life, I was a human intelligence operative, Yemen, Somalia, etc. I really miss the international stuff. And then he sent her a private DM that read, "Home alone, no wife and kids." Zeke, have you ever texted me when you were home alone? Then on March 7, 2022, he sent a message that read, "I have another very rare Monday night with no wife or kids. I get bored with nothing to do. If I went to lunch with you, beautiful woman, in parentheses, our lunch would be on social media in 10 minutes. We just have to find the right setting." Yeah, I know the right setting. Fletcher asked Miss Figueroa to visit him at his hotel. He told her, "My wife and kids are out of town," and he wanted her to, go to the hotel. And then sure enough, let's see, she does meet him there. Okay. And one thing leads potentially to another. All right. When Miss Figueroa arrived at the hotel, Fletcher met her outside and instructed her to follow him through the lobby to the elevators. But then when they started taking the stairs, he started to kiss her, and then he started to tell her how much he loves her and he has a crush on her. And then on New Year's Eve, 2022, Fletcher sent Miss Figueroa a message, "Happy New Year, me Amour. Here is to a 2023 where all our desires come true. Don't reply. We'll see you in 2023. On February 6, 2023, Fletcher announced his official candidacy for a seat in the California State Senate. The very same day, Ms. Figueroa was unexpectedly called, this is February 6, 2023, it was about a month ago, into a closed-door meeting with the MTS Chief Human Resource Officer and abruptly fired. Shortly thereafter, Fletcher contacts her again. He says, hey, keep everything secret or I'll sue you. Whoa, all right, this is her suit. She's claiming February 6, 2023, she's doing everything great. There's no marks on her record. Everything's awesome. And she gets fired. If she could prove that he had her fired, then the question is how much? And that is just answered by what would 10 people agree to give her? They could give her 100,000. They could give her $1 million. They could give her $5 million. They could give her zero. If it wasn't her firing, related to Mr. Fletcher, I think, we may estimate, okay, maybe 100,000. It might be up to 300,000, maybe a little more. Maybe a good settlement would be 250,000, for example. Now, the other one is if they learn in discovery that they fired her because Fletcher kind of pulled some strings, I think a jury would give her a few $1 million. Okay, let me tell you why. Because she had a good job. She was working at the government. Once you get fired from the government, it's hard to get a job back at the government. Her employment, her career, everything is stained after that. All right, guys, as always, my pleasure to be here. I'll see you next week.